All right, we're live for another episode of Keeping It Real, and really excited today because we got Chris Ford, and the subject today is about doubling your business using Facebook. And Chris Ford is out of Michigan. I think it's Chesterfield, Michigan, and we're really excited to have her on here. She's been crushing it doing Facebook advertising, generating leads, and also converting them into escrows. Because one thing is you can generate leads, but if you don't convert them, then what's the point, right? So so we're going to bring Chris on here. We're excited to have her on here. First, I'm going to take care of just a few housekeeping items. If you're first tuning into the Keeping It Real Hangouts, I'm Jeff Manson. I'm a Hawaii real estate broker and also founder of Real Geeks. And my co-host is Frank Klesitz. He's the CEO of Viral Marketing. And Frank, can you let the audience know how they can follow and get notifications of these Hangouts?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, YouTube, Real Geeks channel on YouTube, you can subscribe there. These get recorded and go straight to YouTube. You can go to keepingitreal.com, and you can see we post all of the Hangouts right there. You can also see them all on YouTube on a playlist. And you can subscribe on keepingitreal.com. Put your email address in. We'll email update you. And you won't get any other emails other than just Keeping It Real events if you subscribe there. Right. And then also you can follow us on Google+. And we're also on iTunes, right, Jeff?
Yeah, we're on iTunes. So if you work out like I do in the morning and exercise and listen to podcasts, you can go ahead and do that. I listen to Gary Vee in the morning if I'm not talking to customers. It's great. Yeah, so you can do that. And also on the Real Geeks Facebook page, too. We repost those and the Real Geeks blog. And also, I'm actually going to start playing around with Instagram. We're talking social media today, so I just going to start playing around with the Real Geeks Instagram. So if you want to follow us, the Real Geeks Instagram, go and follow just Real Geeks. That I'm going to start boosting, or when I post the replays, I'm going to post them on Instagram as well. I want to see how that works. I'm going to be playing around with that. Yeah, so we're really excited to have Chris Ford on here. She's really in her second year. Is that right, Chris?
It is. Yes, it's technically my second year. It's my last year was my first full-time year in real estate.
So yeah, last year was her first time full-time in real estate, and she did sold 27 homes and $5 million in production, which is pretty good as a brand new agent. I think that's awesome. And her goal this year is to do 10 million in volume, double her volume. And a big part of that in her biggest strategy is Facebook marketing, right?
Correct. Yeah, right. Facebook is really the epicenter where you're getting new buyers and sellers.
Awesome. So let's just go back, and can you just let us know so we can kind of get to know who you are and what you did before real estate and how you kind of transitioned to real estate, and then we'll hop into. I know everyone's waiting for the Facebook stuff, but I really want them to get to know who you are because I think you have a good story.
Sure, absolutely. So, well, I actually started in real estate when I was really young. My mother is in real estate, and so she, would make us go out to open houses with her and do all that stuff when we were teenagers and whatnot. And so in my to late teens, early 20s, when I was in college getting my degree in broadcasting, I worked for a builder. And after I got my degree, I worked for a newsroom. I worked in the local news station here in Detroit, Fox 2 News, and worked as a reporter and a field reporter. And then my career quickly evolved, and I ended up becoming a television producer, and I traveled all over the country doing shows. Elections and red carpet events and movie premieres and things like that. And so one of the things that local businesses really liked about me was because I knew all the producers and the newspaper writers and the bloggers, and social media really came out. I actually was getting headhunted to help clients, Fortune 500 companies build their brand. I worked with clients like Bill O'Reilly, Glenn Beck. I worked with Volkswagen, Chrysler, those types of companies to really build their client base, their awareness, and it eventually transitioned into the social media aspect because it kind of was new to them. Nobody really knew or understood it. So the background in getting them into those social platforms and really taking focus in who their consumers were was a big part of my day-to-day. And then when I got out of television in 2012, I always wanted to go back into real estate. I just one of my passions, even when I went to any city, is I'd get off the plane and I'd pull up my app and see what homes would go for in that city, because it was just an obsession of mine. I love to see what home sales go for and what homes look like, because they're so different all over the country. So it was kind of just one of my secret passions, and I decided to get back into it in 2013. I got my license.
You got your license, and you did that part-time.
I did. So I got it late 2013, and then worked part-time in 2014.
And then in 2015, last year, was your first full-time in real estate. And what made you decide to just take that plunge, or how did you build up that confidence to say, you know what, forget this part-time stuff, I just want to go full force into real estate?
Well, I kind of tiptoed into a little bit just to see if I could get my bearings and see if it was something I wanted to do. I don't consider myself a salesperson by any means. I'm definitely social, and I try to engage and get to know people. But the whole sales aspect of it was kind of daunting to me, because that's not who I am. I've always been a 100% commission type person. I've always been a freelancer, so making the money was never a concern, and not having that, weekly paycheck, that was never the concern. It was just getting into something totally different and seeing if it was going to vibe with my personality. And I quickly came to that it's not about selling, it's just getting to know your clients and their needs and servicing what those needs are. And so I picked up on that really fast, and I just built this great base really fast. With the network I had and the referrals that I get, it ended up working out really good. So I said to myself, and every year I'm very goal-oriented, I create a list that says I want to make these goals, and if I can get them, then I get X. And so when I was working part-time, I said if I can make X, then I will just shut everything else out and make it my full-time business. I'll make it my priority. And I did that. I did that in 4 months. So I just said if I could do this in 4 months, imagine what I can do full-time.
Well, last year you sold 27 houses, and you said about half of those came from referral and half of those came from Facebook. Is that right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then as of January, just from the Facebook marketing is using the Real Geeks platform and the tools on there, just from January this year, so we're 3 months in about, you said you have how many? You have 4 listings and 8 buyers just from Facebook ads?
Correct.
So 4 listings and 8 buyers just from Facebook ads. In total in Facebook spend, how much did you spend total in the past 2-3 months to be able to generate that business?
Maybe $500.
So $500 plus the cost of Real Geeks, a couple $100 more there. So maybe $1,000 total you spent. And how much in commission are you expecting from the 4 listings and 8 buyers?
It would be $2.5 million in sales.
So 3% of that's what, 70,000?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Good. Not a bad return, huh? Spend $1,000 to get 70,000 in commission.
No, it's one of those businesses where you'll never have a better return on investment. That's for sure.
Great. Now, one more question, just because I want to clarify this. Those 4 listings and 8 buyers, they come from Facebook, from like your sphere and people you knew, or is it from like cold advertising?
It's cold advertising. I mean, and I do a lot of specific targeting. I take, the area pages that I've created from my Real Geeks site, and I will target. I will take my Chesterfield Township area page and create an ad specifically for people in Chesterfield Township, and I'll post that. And I always do my ads Thursday through Sunday. Don't do any other advertising outside of the weekends, and it works for me. It's a system that I've kind of worked to understand when people get on there to actually start playing with different sites outside of Facebook, and it seems to be the weekends are best. And so I'll do specific area pages, and when I do those ads, I run them for $5 or whatever. But the specific area pages, I target that each city that I want to work in, and most of them are local. I don't really like to be more than a 15-minute drive from any of my listings or buyers. I try to keep everything very local, and plus I want to know the neighborhoods I'm working in. So I target those ads to specific areas that I have on my site.
Great. Right. So Jeff, let's share with the audience really quick. I want
to. Okay, but I wanted to ask her one thing. Okay. All right. So because she's saying an area page, is that a content area page where they're landing and they can actually search where the search is on and you have some content, or is it like a search results of Chesterfield of a list of properties and then they click on sign up? is an actual area landing page where they start their search and then they're asked to sign up?
No, it's actually an area landing page. So when they click on the ad, if it says, you know, search local homes in Chesterfield Township, when they click on the ad that's on my Facebook page, it actually takes them to an area landing page that is already accumulated all of the Chesterfield Township homes for sale. So they can navigate right away. They can see on that scrolling area page the homes, but once they click on it, obviously, then they're prompted to sign up as
okay, so, but it is an actual content page, and it's got the search box too. So they could do a search or click on a property, correct?
Correct. Yes.
And you have that search defaulted with Chesterfield, I would assume. So all they have to do is hit search and maybe adjust the price.
Yeah, actually, but it's already actually on the page. The page already has all the listings in there. It's already filtered.
Right, yeah, I understand that. So you're using a content page, and you're in our back-end tool, you're pulling all the Chesterfield properties on it, essentially.
You got it.
Got it. Okay, I just wanted to clarify it because there's a lot of Real Geeks customers watching these, and I just wanted, so that way they know what to do.
Yeah.
All right, what were you going to ask, Frank? I'm sorry, I rudely cut you off.
This is a very content-heavy hangout, and I want to organize it probably into like 4 sections.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, man. You're the boss. I'm just going along with the ride.
All right, so for everyone watching this, I first want to, Chris, let's talk about these pages. Let's go really deep on the pages that you create for each community. Got it? Then let's move on to the audience selects, like the targeting of like how do you target and write the right interest-based targeting to get that audience as specific as possible who's actually going to be interested in buying or selling. Then let's move on to the messaging and let's show some like ads. We'll show some examples. Sound good? And then finally we'll talk about budgeting. To pretty much encompass all of Facebook advertising just to kind of give people an overall idea on this. And then
add to the bottom of that, after we do that, I would like to do how is she following up and engaging them. Because one thing is doing all that and getting the traffic and getting the lead to sign up. Now you got to engage with them and set them an appointment and try and convert them, right? Because you can get leads all day long, but we're going to explain how to get great leads, but she's actually engaging with them at a high level and then converting them into clients. So, all right, go. Add those to the list. Right?
So, Chris, where could someone go on Facebook to see your pages? What are the names of the pages? Does someone go there and like them right now and follow what you post?
Oh, like her Facebook.
I think we lost Chris.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah, we lost Chris. Okay.
Call her cell phone real quick.
All right, I'll give her a call, but while you're doing that, Jeff, why don't you share some of the examples and the ads that are working for everybody, okay?
Some examples of ads that are working for everybody? I don't have any ads out here. Okay, why don't you call her, or she should be able to just log back in.
She should be able to log in.
All right, do you want me to try and call her?
Yeah, give her a call. I could take it from here. I have a pretty good idea of what we got.
You have some of the, you actually have just the reporting tool of our Facebook marketing tool that we're going to be doing embedding. She's actually using that and having good results.
Yeah.
Let me
try. So why don't you try to get her back on and I'll share with the audience what we got to do. Sorry about that, guys. So what Chris does is she has a community page for every single niche area. Like you have different neighborhoods and different subdivisions. And she creates a page for every single one of those areas. So in the
Hey, Frank, you could probably go to her website too, chrisfordrealtor.com, and on the right navigation, she probably had some of those community pages she's driving traffic to. All right, let me try and get her on the phone.
Good. So go to our website and you see the community pages. All right. So once you set this community page, it's very specific to the area. That way, when the ad shows up on Facebook, it says like, oh, like for example, one of the houses back in Omaha where I used to live is in Grayhawk West, and maybe you'd have a Grayhawk or Northwest Omaha, Nebraska, where I'm from, very specific page. And the ad would show from that page. It's not from you, the agent. It's not the agent showing up as you for the ad. It's the community. So you set those up for each and every single community. Then it comes for the audience and the selects. So then direct marketing, they call them selects. You can call them audiences. You go into the back of Facebook, you set up an ad account. And what you do, looks like she lost power. What you do is you can choose first off.
I'm wondering if there's a way to call it. Let me ask Frank.
Hang on. Jeff, I don't have any way for her to call in. If she lost power, I can help her out. But we can discuss with everyone some of the Facebook ads, okay? So if you want to hop on here, you got to unmute yourself as you talk to her. So as far as for the audiences are concerned, you can go into the back end of Facebook through the ads, the ad manager, and you could say, I only want to market to people maybe within like a 1 mile radius of this area, or I only want people that maybe are only in a zip code. You can get it as narrow as a zip code or a radius around a specific area. But you can go even deeper. Not only can you choose everybody who's in a zip code or in a radius, you can go deeper. You could choose specific, homeowners.
I hear you.
We got you back. That's good.
All right.
Hey, Chris,
Hi.
we're all good. Sorry about that, everyone. But here's the deal. Here's where we're at. I was just explaining to everyone to go to your website. And you set up community pages for every single niche area you want to go into. So the ads show up from the community page, not from you as the agent. Is that correct?
Correct.
She's back. Okay.
Good. So just share with everyone real quick, back to the question before we left, is where can someone go to see your community pages? What are a few of them called? They can go to your website to get them or type them into Facebook. I want people to see your community pages. What can they type?
And what about her Facebook page, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, my Facebook page, everything I have is Chris Ford Realtor. So, in fact, I will change my, because I had to rechange my lower third here. So, my website is chrisfordrealtor.com. But if you just Google Chris Ford Realtor, it's the same for my Facebook, my Twitter, my Pinterest, everything is got the Chris Ford Realtor part on it. So, you can easily find me.
And then where can someone find the community pages, the specific community page? What would they type into Facebook?
You could type in, so it would be chrisfordrealtor.com/Chesterfield-TWP.
I think all they need to do is go to your Real Geeks website, and on the sidebar, on the right navigation bar, probably click on one of those pages, right?
Yeah, if you go to my actual website and you scroll down, you'll see community real estate, and you can click on Chesterfield Township, and it'll take you to my Chesterfield Township landing page, and it has all the homes that are available in Chesterfield Township.
Great. So after you create these pages, let's talk about the specific ads and the audiences that you run to. So as far as for an audience, if you're looking for seller leads, what type of audience do you choose on the community page for seller leads?
So when I take the Chesterfield link and I move it over to my Facebook page, first and foremost, I do this. I always take out the HTTP semicolon / I take that out so that it'll actually aggregate my heading image from my actual Facebook page, and then I create content, obviously in the subject area. But once I do that, I boost the post. So there's two different ways that I do it. Sometimes I'll boost a post and do what I call it a blanket post, and I specifically already have areas that are saved in the back end of my ads manager. But if you don't have any of that set up, it's not a problem. You just click on boost, and then you go in. It'll kind of pull up this light box. It'll be a window that'll open up for you, and you can target a specific area. You can do it by zip code or just typing in whatever city name that you want, and then that's just a blanket post. You can just Chesterfield Township. I do it for 3 days for $5, and I push boost. If I want more strategic targeting, I actually have to go into the ads manager from my business page, and then I target. And I actually still have targeted lists already in there, which is nice. So if I wanted a niche market where I said, I wanna find buyers who are looking for homes over $200,000, it's actually already saved in my system, so I can actually do that from my Facebook homepage. But if you're just kind of developing your sphere of interest, you go into the ads manager and you dedicate exactly what is it you're looking for. You pick the city, you can pick the demographics by age, you can pick the ad run time, and you can even get really specific and target demographics, income levels, if they're likely to move, if they own a home right now, if they're renting. I mean, you can really pinpoint who it is that you're trying to get interest from these ads from. So there's two ways of doing it. It really just depends on what you're trying to do for that specific ad.
So let's pull up an ad.
Okay.
I'm going to pull up an ad here.
Okay.
Let's see if it... You want to turn your sound down and get a lot of reverb. All right, can we see it?
Hey, Chris, I think you're running something in the background.
Mm-mm.
Oh, really? I hear an echo. Do you hear an echo?
Yep, I hear an echo.
Really? No.
I think.
Chris, why don't you log back out and log back in real quick, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to show the audience exactly the some ads. All right?
Okay.
So let's see if we can get here. And
Yeah, that was bad. Do you hear it now?
Man, Google Hangout is not treating us well today, is it, Jeff?
No, that's all right. They're still loving it. Just hang in there because you're going to get some good information.
Well, let's see here if I can.
She sent you some JPEGs of the ads, right?
Yeah, but it's not allowing me to share them on any of the sharing stuff that's on here. I'm going to share my screen with the audience. That's okay. So, Chris,
Yep.
For everyone watching
Chris
this,
might be able to do that. She has the JPEGs.
Yeah, well, for everyone watching this, I posted all the actual ads in the comments on the Hangout page that you're watching here. And if you scroll down, let's have everyone reference a specific ad. You have an ad that says Facebook area landing pages 1.png. Can you pull that one up, Chris?
Yeah, I can.
We may not be able to pull up on screen. It's giving me a challenge. But if you can, that's great. If not, everyone can reference this in the comments of the Facebook area landing pages 1. That's the title of the image that we're looking at. This is the one you have under, it's marked under your name. We have homes for sale in Fraser, Michigan. Check out local listings, use the mortgage calculator, and even get moving supply costs with a link to chrisfordrealtor.com/Fraser.
Yep.
Tell us about this ad and the results this type of ad has given you and the audience that you run this to, because clearly it's under your name, not under a community page. I'd like to know why that is.
Let's see here. I'm going to pull the ad up so I can kind of walk through the actual ad and the process and stuff. So this actual ad is.
Are you sharing the screen? Because we see you still.
Yeah. Let me see here if I can. Well, let me share the screen. I can.
We're having trouble with the screen sharing.
Oh, you are.
She might be able to do it. Let's see if. How does she do it, Frank?
Here we go. I can share it with you.
Okay, good. You got it.
Dude, she's a rock star. Come on now.
Okay. All right. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Well, here's what you need to do. I want you to make it smaller. That way it's bigger for us to see. It's very difficult for us to see the ad right now.
Smaller?
So I need you to make that window smaller. That way it's going to make it larger for us. Nope.
Too small?
It's fine. Just to keep going. That's fine.
All right. Well, let's share the ad. If everyone's knowing, I shared the one that we're looking at. It's the Facebook area pages 1.png. So talk to us about this ad.
Okay, so this was a targeted area that I did, and as you'll see, like the image on here is the actual header image that I have on my actual Chris Ford Realtor page. So if you typed in chrisfordrealtor.com/Fraser, this is what I would consider a blanket listing. This is actually one of the very first ads that I ever did when I got the Real Geeks site. So I was kind of just in a test phase to see what kind of activity and what kind of sign up I would get. And you can change these however you want to. I just kept it very simple with the ad, and it just aggregated everything in from that Fraser area page. So when they click on the chrisfordrealtor.com Fraser link from the subject area or from down here under the image, it navigates them over to my site, and they can actually see all the homes that are. I don't know if you're still able to see my site or not.
Yeah, you're not sharing your whole screen. You're only sharing a window.
Really? All right. That's very odd.
So
Is that helping?
No, it's still showing your window. What I like to do to keep things moving, let's just go back and just not use a screen share.
Okay.
Just tell us conceptually, because the audience can have this open in one window and follow along with what you say.
Sure. Okay. So right there, we got out of there. So anyways, with that ad, whenever they're navigated to that specific site, most people who are looking for city-specific homes, they can navigate to the chrisfordrealtor.com/Fraser page, and they can either choose from the top box a different price range. Maybe they want a 4-bedroom home that's $400,000 or more. They can do it that way. But when I aggregate into the actual page, I kind of talk real briefly about the area, the schools, something like that. I actually have a video on there for Fraser because Fraser is one of the MAC-approved Apple schools, and every student is supplied an iPad. So I kind of talk about some of the staples of the community that people are interested in, or maybe if they don't know, they're relocating, they're transplanting to that area. They kind of want to know what the schools offer. So I try to integrate video into the pages, but they can aggregate down the page to see different homes that are for sale, and obviously once they click on a home, then they're requested or prompted to register to the site. But that ad specifically, I'm going to move to my actual conversions on this one. So this one was, like I said, this was a test ad that I did. I spent $20 on it. I had 210 link clicks, 2 page likes, 17 post likes, 1 comment, and 5 shares. And I'd actually have to go into my Real Geek site to see exactly what I got in terms of leads. I know it was pretty substantial, and $20 is probably more than I would normally spend. But I think the most important thing for me was to see what kind of activity I was going to get from it, because it was really one of the very first ads that I did.
What is the ad that's given you the best results? Is there one you can share with us, your best strategy?
I can, and this is something that a lot of people don't realize. So I've done, since I've been in real estate, even before the Real Geeks website, one of the best ads I ever did, and what I've found to be tried and true, is people actually don't care about the exterior of a home. They care about the interior of a home. Interior pictures by far do the best when it comes to aggregating leads. And there's actually, I don't know if you can pull it up or not, but one of my very best ads that I did, it was for a CMA, and I did it last year around the time of tax season when people were getting their tax refunds, because people always think, big projects or big spend when they get their tax refund. And I did this CMA with a white kitchen. I had 123 likes on it. I had 197 registers for my CMA report.
And then the ad that she's sharing, if you want to go into the comments to find the ad, since we can't screen share that well, it's the one that's titled Most Popular Facebook CMA Ad.png. As a picture of the beautiful white kitchen. So tell us more about this ad, how much you spent, and the results you got from it.
I spent $50 on that ad, and I ran it for 4 days. I ran it from Thursday to Monday morning. I stopped Monday morning, and I had I couldn't keep up with my emails. My emails were just off the charts with the CMA requests. I had so many, and the follow-up was unbelievable. So a lot of them are longer leads, more people interested in if their home had come out of, in Detroit we really suffered hard from the economy, and people are still kind of recovering if their homes were underwater. So I had a lot that were really just trying to figure out, where am I at? Where's my neighborhood at? But I take all of those and I kind of move them into this, email marketing, this drip campaign that I have. And so every couple days or every 2 weeks, they get something in the email about just different things. It's not always about specific real estate in their area, but it could be about redecorating, small things to do to improve the value on your home, that kind of stuff. So
that's a big takeaway. So take a look at the most popular Facebook CMA ad. That's a pretty easy ad to recreate with an image and the copywriting that you have.
Because there's nothing fancy in the verbiage there. There's no golden ticket if you click on it. It's very simple and straightforward, and it doesn't seem gimmicky, but I'm telling you, the interior pictures, and I don't know what it is about white kitchens. White kitchens attract the most leads. That's what I found, just from my own.
And what audiences did you run the ad to? I mean, who actually saw the ad that you ran?
I did a blanket ad for the county, so I ran it in all of Macomb County.
Like just everybody in the county, homeowners in the county? I mean, how specific?
I'll be specific. So I ran it in the county, and your home you had to be a homeowner that owned a home that was considered $150,000 or more in value.
Got it. Cool. So what's something else that's worked really well? So we talked about that. Let's show another ad that worked really well.
Okay.
Besides the CMA ad. Give me something else.
Let's see here. So I've got
you have the HGTV ad.
Yes, I have the HGTV ad. That one's actually a fun one, because that one's actually a newer prospecting ad. And HGTV came to me last year and asked me if I would do a lakefront bargain front show. And we couldn't, they do the casting part of it, and it had to fit into a very tight criteria, and they asked me to do it again. So I ran that ad and actually had a lot of interest on it. I have 8 people who are in the casting call right now getting vetted, so I'm hoping it all works out. It's a very slim window in which they want, but crossing my fingers it works this year, because I think it'll be a really fun show. We live by water here, not as beautiful as the one that Jeff lives by, but we live by, I would live by Lake St. Clair. There's a lot of canals and riverfront homes. Even in Oakland County, there's a lot of inland lakes. And so there's a lot of amazing homes where you can live the life of a vacation right on the water for under $400,000.
And then, Jeff, you'll like this one. The ad that's Facebook listing number 1. This is marketing your listings on Facebook. And, Jeff, you can talk more about your tool. But let's pull up Facebook listing 1. This is nothing more than just a bunch of images of a property with the details of the property, and contact me in the post. So straight up, just putting the pictures on the post, and here's the details about the property. Tell us about the Facebook listing 1 and the money you spent on that and the results from that one.
Okay, so this is a Facebook listing. It's a newer listing, and I kind of gave the basics on it. I know a lot of times they say don't put the price on there. But to me, I just feel like that's the first thing that people want to know. They want to know if they should take the time to go into it further. So I do put pricing on my ads. But what I did is when I pulled in, you'll see the Chris Ford Realtor property, and it's got the MLS number on it. And so they can click on that link. It's the only place they can actually navigate to the website. So you're kind of taking a risk if your images do not actually click back to your website. So that's why I tried to really spell it out, like link to listing. I try to spell it out where it is, because if they click on, let's say, the image of the kitchen, it's only going to open the image of the kitchen. It's not going to take them back to the listing. But people want to see images, and so and this is actually, I could have done the carousel ad, but for the very first time on this one, I did not. I actually did end up running a carousel ad. This one actually performed better than the carousel. And for those of you that do any Facebook ads right now, the carousel ads are somewhat new. And what's nice about them is when you're creating them online, you can say, like, if I had the house up, I could say, 4-bedroom colonial, brick, full brick with limestone. And then the kitchen, you could add content like, open concept kitchen, great for entertaining. You can create different things that might intrigue somebody who was looking for something specific. You can put the 3-car garage on there. You can put the finished basement on there, because everyone's always looking for something specific. So if they can scroll through images, whether it's a carousel ad or this ad, they're going to be more inclined to click to find out more details. They can get information to see it, what the taxes are, what school district it's in, that kind of thing.
So where are you landing those over? Are you landing those to a detailed property landing page?
Yes, so that specific one went to a property landing page.
Okay, all right. You're having pretty good success with that.
Yes, yeah, and it's really great because if you're working with the lead site and you're managing your well, I do texting. Texting to me, I think, is like the best part of this whole process, because I can do it from anywhere. I can have it on my phone. So when a lead comes in and they're registering for this property, when it comes into me, I know right away that it's something that I've pushed out through Facebook, and it's a specific landing page to this listing. So when I text them, I know exactly why they've registered. I know it's because they've looked at the property, in Harrison Township for $389.9. And so I'm on my phone sometimes opening up the web browser for the Real Geeks leads, and I just start texting them. That's a little bit more of an organic outreach. If you go back to like the Fraser listing page, the area pages, those are actually set up in the system where when you go into your backend portal, you can actually create templates that are automatic. So when a new lead comes in, they automatically get that text sent to them, whether you're working and you can respond right away or not, they're getting that text right away.
So you're talking about the automated SMS text autoresponder. And
Yep.
are you using that feature?
I am, and I love it.
And you're getting good response? Are they texting back, or are you engaging pretty quickly?
Yes, they are. In fact, I wonder if I can try this again, because I can show you an example. Let me see if it'll do it.
An example of how they engage back, or one went
Yeah,
out and then you
I
got
get
into a conversation?
Yeah,
You
I get a lot.
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal with the automate. While you're looking for that, with the automated texting, a lot of people, they're searching properties, they're signing up with these, and they may be at work or somewhere, and you try and call. I would always still try and call right away, but if you don't get them, the auto text, they get auto text, and then at work, ding, they're searching, and they can actually respond to a text, whereas at work they may not be able to pick up the phone or answer the phone and start talking with you.
It's true, and the texting.
Oh, you're right in your lead manager. Okay, wow.
Yeah, I'm right
You're
here.
good with that.
I pulled all these up just to give you an idea, because there's different conversations at all times. I find it fascinating that people are so good. I can always tell when it's lunch hour because my phone blows up with new leads or people that are checking their site. So this is just an example. Can you see all of these that I have pulled up here?
Yeah, you have 5 of the, which is kind of cool with our feature, is our texting, you can actually, they're little chat boxes and you're texting them from the back end.
Yep.
And you can be working to other leads or minimize them or whatever, and they get a little red dot or whatever when the people respond back, but you can actually have multiple conversations going on in texting your leads. That's kind of cool. You got
Yep.
a lot open.
I do. So I wanted to show you a couple different examples. So this one right here where you see the 2 reds and actually Michelle, these are all automated. So if they've come in from just a general area landing page, this is the automatic text that comes through. It's very cool, very easy breezy, not pushy. Just let me know. I'm here to help. Let me know if you have any questions. Because people really don't want you breathing down their back. But I get people who respond right away, and they tell me things like this lady the other day, thank you so much. We're ready to move ASAP. We were supposed to close on Wednesday. The seller pulled out. And, she may not have ever told me that had I tried calling her or sent her an email that she got, a day or 2 later, depending on when she checks her email.
Sure.
So I set up all these auto texts. This one here, this is actually me. This is my tester. Anytime I do something new, I always test my own content. But there's days where I'll go through here and all of these are pre-set up, and I'll just go, okay, let's do day 2. Day 2 is, it takes them to my blog. It's a buyer checklist. Or day 3 is, it's actually a link back to Zillow, because clients love Zillow, and even though agents aren't big fans of it, that's where consumers go. So I want to drive them to an area where they are used to going. And it has all my reviews on there. So I just have different texts that are already set up and formatted. So
you're talking about the templates. You're actually doing the template ones that you can actually set. That's a feature where you can actually set up different ones that you send a lot, or if you're doing follow-up. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now I see where you're at.
Yeah. So they're all set up, and you can do that in your settings.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so you're getting good response with that. All right, great. And then what else are you doing to help nurture these and follow up?
Well, outside of the texting, I actually work with 2 lenders, and they have access.
Let's change your screen back, Chris. We're watching Jeff drink water.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Slow motion, too.
Yep, change it back to you. Just turn it off. Just press the green button. There you go.
Yeah. There we go. Okay. So outside of texting, which I think is one of the best formats to ever interact with a client or a potential client, I actually work with brokers, or not brokers, 2 mortgage lenders that help me. Because one thing that people probably don't realize is I'm a single agent. I don't have a team. I don't have that assistant yet. I don't have that buyer's agent. I'm not set up that way. So lenders, when you find a good lender that's willing to nurture and help with your leads, go for it, because it's almost like free help, and they'll do anything to nurture that lead for a sale. So I don't really typically work with clients if they don't have a pre-approval, which most agents shouldn't. So they have to go to the lender anyways, And I love knowing that the lender that I've recommended them to is going to be honest in what they can afford, and the pre-approval is going to be legitimate. So I have lenders actually set up on my dashboard that actually help to nurture the leads quite a bit. Because after I do the initial engagement, I try to ask right away, you know, how soon are you looking to move? Are you working with a lender? And that's all part of my templates as well. And as soon as they say yes or no, I actually move them over to a lender. And I know we just got the lender tool set up, so before that was actually integrated, I actually set them up as an agent on my site.
Sure.
And I would move them over there, and they helped really aggregate them and get everything that they needed before I could move on with them. I would still check in with them if they favorited a property. I'd say, oh my gosh, I just saw, you know, the house on Haverhill. What a gorgeous kitchen that is. It's stunning. And little things like that, people go, oh my God, I saw that too. Like, I'm starstruck. I have to see it. And so just trying to find little things like that that would get people to engage in a phone call or a text is really important. Because it's not always just about, so what, you know, when are you gonna buy? When are you gonna sell? Because people don't want to be pressured that way. They want to be conversating with you, and that's really how the whole social platform is. And that's why Facebook to me is very powerful, because I'm always engaging in a way that's not pressuresome. It's just I'm interested.
Right. So you're using the back end to filter by when they're adding favorite properties and doing certain activities, and then you're reaching out to them and doing that. Are you using texting on that or email?
It's typically texting, and the lenders text on there too.
Okay. And then, okay, great. And it's helping you get higher engagement.
It is.
Where maybe you might, and they're like, oh, and then they start engaging, and then you know, obviously try to set an appointment. Now, you earlier in the call, you did say you got some sellers too. Some sellers under escrow from this Facebook marketing. Are those from people signing up on the type of ads we talked about earlier, and then you're just asking them, do they currently own a home, or, you know, or are they renting, and then going on to ask them, you know, if they're going to hold on to that as an investment or sell type questioning, or is it by driving them specifically to like the property or the home valuation tool? How are you getting those sellers through Facebook?
It can be any of those sources, but usually with the way that I've worded the intro text, the way it says, you know, I see that you've signed. Thank you for signing up on my page. You know, how soon are you looking to move? I'm here to help. They immediately give me the information without me ever prying. They say, well, I have to sell a house, and we're not looking to move till June until, you know, Bobby's out of school. Or we're waiting for, you know, the estate sale to go through before we can sell. So they kind of give me the information without me having to go through the 20 questions, because people don't really like the 20 questions. So it really is from any of those sites, and they kind of just give me the information on their own. So,
and that's to the auto text? Is that what you're referring to? They're giving you that information?
Yeah.
I got a really important question here. Are you also calling them?
You know, I don't call them a whole lot. And I'll tell you why. A lot of people, when they're ready to talk, they will tell you. They will say, can I talk to you after work? I've got some questions. I don't pry, because most people are at work or they're doing something and they don't want people around them to know their business. So I never say, hey, you know, can I call you real quick? I kind of nurture it a little bit, because eventually they come around and they go, so can you come over? Can we talk a little bit? And I kind of let them do the intro. I don't ever take the first initiative when a lead comes in and the number is in. If they text me back from the autoresponder, I never immediately call them.
No, okay. I was asking, okay, a new lead comes in, the autoresponder goes out. Maybe, you know, they're not replying back right away or replying to your text. Are you calling these and making an attempt to call these leads?
Yes, eventually down the road, after we've communicated via text, I absolutely do. Because at that point, they know who I am and they're comfortable talking with me, because we've had a little bit of dialogue. Yeah.
All right, but you're not calling newer ones that you've never had any dialogue without texting or email?
Typically. Yeah, no, not typically.
All right, you'd probably convert more if you did, but yeah, if it's not your style, it's not your style, you know. I'm not here to judge, but I'm just, you know, that works really well too. I mean, so sometimes they may not have a good text number too, so you might want to think about that too. They may have done something. I think our system does say if it's not a textable number. but you got to go seek that information on our tool.
Jeff,
Right.
we got a lot of questions.
All right, good. Oh God, it's already a 1:45. So let's hit some questions.
All right. So the first question Cindy asked, where do you see the ads that we're mentioning? Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, they're not there. You have to go to the Google Plus page. So if you're watching it on Google Plus, on the Google Plus page, the Google Hangout page, and there's the comments down below. There should be 11 photos in the photo album, and they're all posted there and titled that you can reference back here on the Hangout. That's the only place you can find them right now is on the Google Plus Hangout page where I put them in the photo album. Back to probably the biggest takeaway here, Chris, is the most popular Facebook CMA ad for seller leads.
Yeah.
Right? So there's an example of the most popular Facebook ad for seller leads in those 11 photos. They're up in the Google Plus page. Question is, what landing page do they go to when they click the link? So when they run that ad, where do you send them, Chris?
That was pre-Real Geeks. So what were you using before?
So before I was using, it was through my MLS. It was a cloud CMA.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Right.
But now you can send it right to Real Geeks, right?
Yeah, you can send it to Real Geeks and it'll aggregate it through there.
Yeah, it's a home valuation tool where they punch in their address.
Right.
Are you using that at all, Chris?
I don't have that integrated yet because.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. I'm just asking. It's no big deal. I don't care.
Yeah, and CMA Cloud is just another service provider, Al. That's just another service provider you can check out, all right? Your auto text templates, did you write those? Can we see them? Tell us more about these auto text templates.
Yeah, these are my templates that I've created.
Do you want to share those? I guess you would go into the Real Geek settings and open up the templates.
Yeah. So when you go into settings, these are all written by me. Like I said, when I worked in television and marketing and PR for years, it's all about how you say things. And I'd be more than happy. I would have to pull them down, and I'd be happy to share them after we get off here, so you guys can have an idea of what I have. And they're different formats. Like I said, one of them is just an intro. How can I help you? I'm here to help you if you have any questions. Which 90% of the time I get an immediate response from it. It's not invasive. It's not pushy. And people are more inclined to answer to something like that. But then I have others where it's, if I haven't heard from somebody or I haven't texted them or whatever, I'll kind of go through on a day and I'll go through all my leads and I'll say, hey, just wanted to let you know, there's a checklist on my website that you can download. It's a PDF of what buyers will need for a pre-approval process. Check it out. Or if I have a new listing and I have people in my portal that I know have signed up in Chesterfield and they've been looking at homes for $200,000, I have a template that says, hey, I have this new listing. I thought you'd be interested. Check it out. And then I put in the URL manually from my page.
Cool. What's the average Facebook spend? Let's talk about how much money you're spending a month on marketing versus Facebook. Just give us some dollars.
Yeah, it's not very much. It's maybe like $250 to $500. It just depends. Like in Michigan, our winter months are very slow, so my spend is very small. So to me, during those times, it's all about just the brand awareness with people who follow me on my page and people in the community. But as like spring comes, we've got tax season is the best time to do any sort of advertising because people get that tax return and they're ready to do something. They're ready to buy or, even my lenders, we do co-branding things where even if they're just looking to refi, we just kind of try and build that, hey, we're your community portal. Come to us. We've got the lenders, we've got the realtor, we've got all the central services and the vendors that work together that can help you. And so we try to create that community by doing those types of ads.
Cool.
So I'll spend more in the spring and summer.
I think another big takeaway, and Eric said, if White Kitchens are getting the best response, why are all the listing lead photos exteriors? So you mentioned on some of your ads you have the exterior of the house. Why not put the kitchen as number one?
Yeah, if it's a specific listing, I always put the exterior of the home because curb appeal is the first thing that will turn someone onto the property or off.
That's for a buyer. But for someone who's interested in selling, that's for the CMA.
Correct. It's different. Correct.
Okay. I'm going to see if I can share my screen one more time just to show everyone where these darn ads are. We have lots of questions on where the ads are. Here we go. Hold on.
Oh, we see something.
So this is the Google Hangout page, as you can see. You should be watching it right here, and you go to you can go to the Real Geeks Plus page to see it, and you scroll down. You will see here on the left all the comments down below. You can see the photo album of all the photos here. There's 11 ads. And if you keep scrolling down even further, you will see ad 1. You click that, it'll show up, right?
Awesome.
Ad 2, they're all right there. So you can see all the ads that we talked about today. You got to go to this page in order to see it. It's a long link, so I can't get that to you. But you just got to go to the Google Plus page for Real Geeks, and you'll find it there. All right, I'm done with that.
All right, Frank. What other questions we got rolling in, or was that it, or?
Well, let's see here. Can you text to lead if they have not given a phone number? I would assume not. What do you do if they don't have a phone number?
You can't text them. I mean, what kind of question is that? All right. Next question.
Yeah. No.
No.
Let's see here.
Next question.
Nothing else, man. I mean, let's just talk
great.
more about some other ads that are working really well. I mean, anything else that you could share that would give people good results? I just think the free CMA ad is huge for people to get a free value report. People could put that up and drive some opt-ins right away.
Yes.
That's massive. And I love the idea of how you're marketing your listings to drive clicks and engagements by doing a great job with your listings. That makes a lot of sense. What are we missing from the ad examples that also works well that you shared?
So this is what I think the biggest takeaway for people who are using social media should remember is when you're using your site, whether it's I think every agent should have a business page. The personal page is great, but there's nothing worse than bombarding your friends with your everyday business. And what I've actually learned in the past year, and it took me a while to accept it, but when you're working with this transaction with a client and you have a Facebook page, and if they found you through Facebook, this is one of their biggest transactions. You get to know their kids, what schools, when their kids are sick, what's going on at work, when they've had a bad day. If you connect with someone and they friend request you, consider accepting the friend request. I actually have on my personal page a friends list that is for just my clients, because it means the world to them when you've gone, and I'll go in there once every couple days and I'll click on my real estate clients friend list to make sure that they always have me commenting on something. Congratulations on the new baby. Congratulations, you stopped smoking. Whatever it is, those little things mean the world to them. And that's what's going to continue to get you referral base and keeping you top of mind with them. It's not always pushing the ads on the business side and doing that aggregating of stuff, because once the transaction is over, they don't care about that anymore. So always keeping, that personal touch in your Facebook stuff. So going back to the business side, when you're running ads and people are commenting, if they tag somebody, reply to that and say, yeah, Renee and Jim, come check it out. Do you want to see it? I'm happy to give you a private showing. Give each person an individual reply. Being social is just that. You have to be social. If you're just pushing an ad out and you're spending $5, $20, $1,500, whatever your budget is, if you're not having that dialogue on the page as people are commenting on it, you're missing out on a lot, because you're going to miss out on some information that's really important. And then also when people share your page, different platforms will let you do different things. I found when I am actually on my desktop, I can actually thank people who have shared my posts to their page. My phone doesn't allow me to do it for whatever reason, but just thank people for taking the time to share your stuff, to comment on your stuff, or to tag a friend in it. So it's really just about being social.
Got it.
Hey, yeah, that's really important. So hey, Chris, I got one quick question. I know we're rolling out this Facebook marketing tool we're gonna be offering for our customers, and I know you've played around on that. Has that made it pretty easy, and do you see that? Because, I mean, Facebook and going in the ads manager and doing all that stuff and tracking conversions gets quite cumbersome, to say the least. You've been using that tool. Do you have any feedback, or do you think that's going to be a winner for these agents?
It is. I think one of the most difficult parts, if you're not a tech-savvy person that really understands analytics, and in the back end it can get very crazy with all the graphs and charts and numbers that, what does an impression mean? What does it mean to you? I mean, if you don't get it, I totally understand it. It gets crazy back there. So with the new system that Real Geeks has rolled out for this beta site, the information is very upfront. So when you're looking at, you know exactly what ad, you know, the Chesterfield home on Briarwood Street had 70 clicks on it, 3 people register on your website. That's really what you want to know. You want to know how much people are looking at it and actually, you know, the leads you're converting from it. So
Chris, I got a screen share available for this. Hopefully, can you see it?
Yeah, bring that up real quick, because when she said, it made me think about it when she said you want to get, you got to get social about it.
Hang on.
Come on,
Well,
Frank.
it's not. It's not loading like any.
We're having all kinds of technical problems.
Well, I'm opening up this image in like 4 programs. It's not
I got the image on my screen. I could do it, but I don't know how to show my screen on this thing, because you're usually the control guy. We're getting towards the end, so how do I show my screen, Frank?
Well, do this. So open up the window. So open up the image that shows the analytics. And then move your mouse over me. And on the left,
well, then it's covering you when I open that up.
You're gonna see a green. You're gonna see a green window with a white arrow in it. Click that, and then you should see only the image, not your whole desktop. It'll be too small. But do you see just the image that you have open to share?
No, I don't even see the green arrow.
Oh, here.
Maybe I gotta.
Well, I'll post in the comments for those of you who can find the comments. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you here the analytics. This is a screenshot of the back end of Real Geeks. Has a cool new Facebook tool coming out. Right,
Well,
Jeff?
it's the Ads Manager, yeah. And what it does is it breaks it down by the campaign, shows all those analytics, the audience you're using, it shows the clicks, the cost per conversion. What's really cool though is up in the upper right it shows all the likes and the shares and all that. But in the upper right it kind of shows a combination, because you can also get organic ones too. So we combine the organic and the ones that are generating from the ads up there, and if you click on that, it'll actually take you to the post, so you can actually then start engaging and commenting back.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's that. When she said that you need to engage if you're posting or doing that, it's really important to be doing that.
It is.
Anyway, so I was gonna. Anyway, it made me think about that. No big deal. We'll do it on another one.
Yep, and I just posted, if you refresh the page, for those of you on the Google Plus page watching this in the comments, if you refresh it, it'll show you the analytics for the back end of Real Geeks.
Awesome.
So wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Hold it. Let me see. Can you see it now?
It's there.
Okay. Oh, okay, so you can see my desktop?
Well, I can't see your desktop.
Oh, no, can you see that now?
Nope.
Change the tab.
I saw the green arrow. What
Not
the
working,
heck?
Jeff. Nope. No dice. It's okay.
If
I
I
posted
was
the comments
I
for
would
people
do
to
it for you.
All right, I think we've done a great job. I want to thank Chris for joining us and sharing so much. She's been fantastic. I knew she would be. She's got a lot to share, and I'm really positive. I mean, really not positive. I'm really confident. I'm sorry, I'm kind of tired. One of my customers called me at 4:30 in the morning and woke me up. Pissed my wife off, too. Anyway, so I'm really confident she's actually going to hit that 10 million plus and just crush it this year. And I wanted to thank you for coming on and sharing, and you're awesome. You really are.
Very much. I had a lot of fun. Sorry, I had a little power outage real quick, but no, I hope the information was helpful. If anyone has any questions, I'm always ready and willing to help. I know that navigating the world of social media can be kind of cumbersome and kind of a headache. But it's actually not that hard. Just pick a couple things that you want to do, and hit the ground running with it, and eventually you'll get there.
Yeah, and Chris helps people and is pretty active in the Real Geeks. If you're a Real Geeks customer, and I know there are a lot watching this, if you're in the Facebook or the Real Geeks Mastermind Facebook group, she's in there. You ask some questions, and she usually will hop in and help people.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
thanks, Frank. Talk.